Welcome aboard, everyone. Excited to get started today. I'm looking to see, we are all over the world right now. A lot of USers, Canadians, people from Australia. Great to have you all here. One of the biggest issues that many of my clients who I work with tell me about is that they deal with sleepless nights, which obviously leads to slower healing, feeling horrible in the morning, tossing everything that comes along with bad sleeping. So we decided to do a masterclass today because I'm going to be covering 7 things that you can do that will help you overcome sciatica. And just curious, how many of you have significant sleeping issues that you would love to be able to conquer so that you can get the rest you need because your body heals? And just so you know, I want to make this a little interactive. I am not a lecturer, so I would love it if you guys can just grab a pen and paper and you could take notes. So what we're going to do is get started right now. If I can get my screen working. If you're like many of my clients, sleeping is the worst. Tossing and turning, trying to find any semi-comfortable position to fall back asleep. You're waking up constantly from pain, the electrical shock shooting down your leg, total restlessness from pain. Anybody on here can relate to any of this? Go ahead and just put yes in the chat box. That would be great, so I can make sure I am on the same wavelength as you. Always constantly looking at your clock as the time stands still. Seems like everything stands still. Nothing is happening at night. It's 12:30, then it's 12:34, then it's 12:35, and you think it's almost morning time because it feels like it's so long a period of time. Feeling miserable every morning due to lack of sleep, waking up groggy. We are going to go through what I like to call painsomnia, and it is an actual condition that many of you, if you're saying yes to this, and many of you are suffering from. And painsomnia, it's a condition that occurs when pain is so severe you're unable to sleep. You can even look it up. It is an actual term, painsomnia, pain that causes insomnia. So what do people do? And lots of my clients talk about tossing and turning till they find a comfortable position. They wind up purchasing expensive things from wedges, body pillows, braces, and often it doesn't really make much of a difference. They purchase new mattresses. Some people spend several $1,000s on mattresses only to find out that it wasn't the mattress that was the problem. It was the underlying imbalances in their body. They use medications. Oftentimes people use alcohol because it helps them get to sleep initially because it calms them and relaxes them and it sort of masks their pain. But that drinking actually disturbs the good sleep that you need. And usually you get the rebound effect and you're wide awake at night. So drinking is a problem. And I've had several of my clients who have told me that that's what they do to get to sleep. And then by the middle of the night, middle of the morning, they are up and cranky. So let's talk about the importance of sleep. My big goal is I want to be able to help you conquer the sleep problem so that you can obviously start healing, because getting enough sleep, it promotes heart health, it boosts your brain power, and improves your memory. And how many of us over 50 would love to have improved memory? Well, if your memory is a problem, sleeping more will definitely help. It improves weight management. And hey, all of us over 50 need some help with our weight management. It boosts your immunity. At least it keeps your immunity from decreasing. So getting good sleep is great for your immune system. It reduces stress. And obviously, the less sleep you get, the more irritable you are, the more stressful you are, and the more stress you cause those around you. And that's what the pain can do. Increasing your sleep will help reduce your inflammation. Your body heals and you rejuvenate while you sleep, and a lack of sleep amplifies the pain, as the sensing regions in your brain that sense physical pain also cause emotional pain, and so everything is just amplified because of that. And did you know that most adults need 7 to 9 hours of sleep for maximum function? And most people with sciatica who I've talked to get somewhere between 4 and 6. So that is a problem. My goal is, wouldn't it be great if we can even help you affect 3 of these things by reducing your stress, reducing your inflammation, and promoting heart health? Any of these things would be great. Obviously, the overall goal here that we're talking about is improving your sleep to help decrease your pain for your healing for sciatica. But all these other benefits are also there. So I'm going to be going through 7 things that you can do. So that's why I wanted you to get some pen and paper. The first thing is what I like to call bedroom bliss. You want to create a relaxing, sleep-promoting bedroom. And how do you do that? There's several ways you can do that. By getting a comfortable mattress and pillows around you. They don't have to be expensive, but my big goal for you is you need to be as comfortable as possible in your room. You want to get window blinds and blackout shades so that light is not a problem for you. You want to get white, brown, or green noise at night running. You can get apps on your phone. You can get machines that create a nice little buzzing hum in the background to help promote sleep for you. You can get sleep frequency apps. You can cool down, because when you sleep in cooler temperatures, your body is much more comfortable. You're able to sleep better. And one big thing that I see with people is you have to limit the TV and electronic device use in your bedroom. We will talk about this a little bit later, but 30 minutes, and I actually now like to say for 1 to 2 hours before you go to bed, try to turn off your phone, your iPads, your tablets, your TV, because they emit blue light that tricks your brain into thinking it's daytime. So the melatonin in your body that helps you go to sleep does not get released. So you need to make your bedroom blissful and a sleeping haven for yourself. One other thing that is just as important, and I'm learning more and more about this, is getting some morning and evening sun if possible. Because in the morning sun, a lot of Harvard graduates and studies are being shown that the morning sun plays a huge role in setting your circadian rhythm, which helps you know when your body should be sleeping and when it should be awake. It regulates your sleeping patterns. And now more studies are coming out showing that the evening sun does the same thing, because as the evening sun goes down, it turns your brain into a melatonin releasing machine, because it is aware of the fact that it's a sundown instead of a sunrise, and your body gets into a rhythm so that you're waking up with the sunrise, going to sleep with the sunset, or at least relaxing during the sunset so you can go to sleep. So my big thing is, hey, try walking or simply just sitting out in the sun. It doesn't need to be 20 to 25 minutes every morning and evening. It can be as little as 5 minutes, studies are proving, that can help set your circadian rhythm. Just curious, these first 2 things, I just want to get some feedback from you guys. Is this something that you have known, something that you've thought about, or is this helpful information at all for you so far? I've got 5 more tips to do, and then we can talk about some sleeping positions, but I just wanted to get some feedback from you guys. I knew about the sun and the circadian rhythm. Awesome, Pam. Now, have you been using it, though? I know a lot of things about a lot of things, but I don't often use it to my benefit. So hopefully this will spur you guys on. Set your biological clock, and that should say number 3, I believe. I messed that up. I'm so sorry. So how do you set your biological clock? By trying to do the same time, meaning try to go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time every day, because what that will do, it'll help set your body in a rhythm that will help your circadian rhythm. And if you put this along with getting outside in the morning and evening, your body will thank you. It will relax in the evening. It'll wake up in the morning. Also, what can we do to set our biological clocks? You want to get into routines. Try to figure out what works for you. A bath or a shower before bed, sitting and reading, sitting on heat or ice, reading a book, journaling, meditating, praying. Make a list. My wife is a list maker. She does it every night before she goes to sleep so that she knows what she's doing the next day. Not that she's stupid. It's just that it takes it out of her brain so she doesn't have to think about it at night, because it's already on paper and she can relax and go to sleep. Just find a pre-bed routine that works for you. The key to all this is you want to be consistent until you find what works for you. I can tell you what works for me. I can tell you what works for my wife, but everybody's different. Everybody's mind is different. Everybody's body responds differently. But if you get into a routine, if you get your circadian rhythm in sync with sunrise and sunset, guess what? Your sleeping will be much better. Let's go. Number 4, no caffeine or alcohol for 4 to 5 hours before bedtime. I know some of you hate to hear this, but caffeine is an obvious reason why you don't want it before bed. And what's funny is I can have a Coke, I can have coffee, I can have caffeinated tea before I go to sleep, and it doesn't really bother me. I actually fall asleep right away from it. People, for the most part, though, caffeine is an accelerant and it will excite you. It'll keep you from wanting to sleep. So avoid that caffeine. But through alcohol, you typically have an initial drowsiness. You can actually decrease your pain with some alcohol, but it can totally upset your sleeping pattern and cause multiple waking episodes during the night. And the reason is it shuts down your REM, your rapid eye movement sleep, which is crucial for healing because it's the deep sleep that you need. It can actually cause a rebound effect or a rebound arousal because once your blood level drops several hours later, your brain will kick into overdrive, okay? So alcohol before bed is not the best thing in the world for you to do. And I know so many people do it because it relaxes them initially and it actually feels good. Number 5, just out of curiosity, I'm a little bit more than halfway through, just wondering, is this stuff making sense? Are you guys tracking with me? Does this resonate with you at all? Everything that I'm saying? Yes, Peter Flasco, thank you. Danielle, anybody else? Is this resonating with you? Getting some tips on what you can do? Yes, Wendy, thank you. Yes, Julie, yes, 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 love it. Thank you guys. Number 5, turn off all electronics 30 minutes before bedtime. In the same way that the sunrise and bright sunlight during the day decreases our melatonin production and release, the same thing happens if you're on your phone, if you're on a computer, laptop, whatever, tablet, TV, all emit blue light. So I try to tell people 30 minutes before bed, but I'm realizing now that it should be more like 60 to 120, 1 to 2 hours before bed. Because if you get in that routine, you will be much happier. The blue light suppresses the body's release of melatonin, like I said, which is the hormone that makes us feel drowsy. It's great during the day to have that blue light going on in the sunlight. And the sun is the biggest source of blue light that helps us stay awake. And that's why at sundown, as it goes down, the body actually reads that it's time to start producing melatonin. So being exposed to blue light in the evening can actually trick our brain to think it's the middle of the day. It's still daytime. It leaves us alert and it actually stops that release of the melatonin. So please turn those electronics off I say a minimum of 30 minutes, but let's change that to 60 minutes, just so that you can make sure your melatonin is starting to be released. Your body is recognizing that it's time to relax. And once you get into this, make this part of your routine. Hey, you know what? 60 minutes before you go to sleep, maybe set a timer on your phone to turn it off and get it away from your face. Here are some things that some of my clients have told me after working with me. Andrew Gaddisman said, just over a week into Dean's course and getting some wonderful initial relief, I can actually work and sleep again. On Wednesday night, I had the worst night's sleep of pain that I'd ever had. Dean advised doing some exercises before bed, which I did last night, and I had great sleep. Dean Volk, I'm unable to sleep on my left side again. Thank you. 10 months, I'm able to sleep on my side again 10 months later. Thank you. You're amazing. And your caring saved me from surgery. And I appreciate that. All right. So number 6, here are some things that I teach people that go above and beyond just the normal routine things. I tell people you need to get your body in balance before you get to bed. So you want to balance out your body. One of the biggest things I've learned working with thousands of clients is that the body tension and stress that are caused by the way your body's compensating for your pain during the day increase the imbalance in your body. So you have all this physical tension and stress throughout your body that you want to minimize. And so that is what I teach in my classes, my courses, is teach people how to balance out those imbalances so that the tension in their body is less, so that everything that you've learned up until this point, steps 1 through 5, you can now balance out your body so you can actually get more relaxed in bed. So number 7, find your OCP, which is something that is new. And a friend of mine actually coined this phrase, actually went through my course. He said, Dean, have you ever talked about the optimal comfort position? He goes, your OCP. I go, what is that? And he coined the phrase. So Guy Chadwick in Manhattan Beach, California, thank you for this. Your optimal comfortable position or your optimal comfort position is that position where your body feels like it's totally relaxed. There's no tension or pain. You feel like you're floating. It may be very rare that you ever feel this, But when Guy was going through the course, when he would lay down in bed, he would move and move and move slightly, slightly, ever so slightly in every position, meaning back, side, and stomach, till he found a position where he felt like he was in total relaxation, no pain. And he said, it kind of feels like you're floating. So it might take time, but what I tell people, try to find two, if possible, three positions that feel like you are in total comfort with no pain. And if you only find one, hey, that's good enough to start. But start in that position when you're trying to go to sleep, because what that does, it allows your body to relax. And what you will find is when you are in that OCP, you have no pain and you can relax. And if you're not sure what your OCP is, try to see when you wake up in the morning, if you're not waking up from pain, the position that you find yourself in when you wake up, that is usually an OCP position for you when you're laying down. So that's a good way to start. I hope that makes sense. So the goal is to start out in that position each night, as I said, to be as comfortable and as possible in bed. So what are the best possible sleeping positions for people with sciatica? And I give 4 positions that I tell people to try. These are not foolproof for anybody or everybody, but what it does, it gives you an option to start with. So supine with your legs elevated. And what that looks like, you're sleeping on your back and you can actually have your legs elevated up on a big enough pillow so that your legs are sort of at 90-90, as if there's a lot of pictures online where you see people with their knees and their calves up on a chair. You can go up that high. I tell people, you know what? Don't go out and buy expensive pillows. Use pillows off of your couch. Keep it easy. Keep it simple. Try to find a supine leg elevated position. Some people cannot sleep like that. So I say, hey, let's try sleeping sideways with a pillow between your knees, and having that pillow roll or that towel roll is definitely not necessary. That actually annoys me when I try that, but some people it is great. Just curious, how many people have found that one of these 2 positions are a good sleeping position for them? Third position, sleeping on your stomach with a pillow underneath you. And that can vary massively. The height of the pillow. Some people like to put their feet on a pillow also so their knees are bent. And obviously it's very tough if you have a very stiff neck. They actually make pillows that you can put your face down into and you can breathe. But this is the third. And the fourth that I give on a bonus on a video that I made years ago is what I call the fire hydrant position. And this, if you have any type of piriformis issues, this position is usually one that you find yourself waking up at night from. All right. So we've gone through 7 things you can do to help you sleep at night. We've gone through 4 sleeping positions. And now what I want to do, I want to invite Vikas back on to talk about some things that he's learned about sleep, because he's done some studies on sleep. He's helped other people, not necessarily who are dealing with pain, but other professionals that he has helped get a good night's sleep. So Vikas, I don't know if you're on yet or not, but I'm turning it over to you.
All right. Well, good to see everyone again. By the way, is everything helpful for you guys? Just drop a yes in the chat for me real quick. Just want to make sure everyone's getting it so far, because I know there's a lot of information. There's a ton coming your way. Just want to make sure everything's all good with that. Yes, yes, yes. Perfect. Okay. So sleep is a healing thing. As Dean mentioned earlier, sleep is extremely important. And years ago, I got into a really horrible car accident, right? So I was in a ton of pain myself, back injuries, neck injuries, nonstop. And it's something that I was wondering, why am I not getting better? I was doing stretches, I was doing all the exercise. My PT was telling me all these things to do, but nothing was getting fixed. But I made this one big mistake, and that big mistake was not getting proper sleep. Now, as Dean mentioned earlier, sleep is the key thing that actually allows your body to heal. Without it, without adequate sleep, we're not going to heal correctly, right? So here's 4 quick things. By the way, write this down. This is very important. This is going to be the glue to all of this information you guys have. Without this, it's going to be very tough to implement everything. One of the first things I learned and the biggest mistakes I was making was coffee or caffeine. Now, caffeine can actually stay in your bloodline for up to 6 to 8 hours. So one of the biggest mistakes I used to do was I used to wake up and I used to sit there and be like, okay, I'm gonna have my coffee around 1 o'clock. That's when I feel like I generally crash. That's a huge mistake. You want to have caffeine before 10 a.m. because the half-life of caffeine will still be active by the time you're going to bed if you drink around, 12 o'clock, 1, right? So you're still going to be awake. You're still going to be elevated. You're not going to get proper sleep, right? So if you're a caffeine drinker, like I literally just finished my coffee right now in Vancouver, it's 9:27, right? So did it before 10 a.m. That's huge. That's going to be one of the key things you want to make sure you implement as well. And another big thing, and this is huge as well, is stress journaling. Now, how many of you guys are very stressed, got a lot on your plate, right? The pain's getting to you. Like, personally, I'm pretty stressed out, right? Prices are going through the roof for everything. Everything's getting more expensive. Things are getting tougher to handle, right? You can put in the chat below. Things are getting a little bit tougher, right? I can see, yeah, Danielle, same thing. So it gets hard. One of the biggest things that we always hold on to is our stress. But where do we let it go? Do we fall asleep thinking about it? Do we think about a list of things we need to do? Do we talk to our spouse about it? Do we have a therapist, right? Many times we can't have that. We go to bed thinking about our stress, and oftentimes it's the last thing we think about. Now, think about this for a second. When you're stressed, when you're upset, when you're angry, what position does your body go into? Now, if you don't know, right, think about it for a second. Your teeth are usually clenched, shoulders are kind of rounded forward, right? You're a little bit more tense everywhere. You're stiff. That's right, Danielle. Perfect. You're stiff. So imagine you're like that before bed. Now, one of the best ways to release that stress, and something I did, especially with dealing with the accident, because, and I'll be a little bit personal and open with you guys here. When you have that kind of pain, it slowly starts to infect the mind a little bit, right? Your body isn't what it used to be. You can't do what you used to do beforehand. Everything gets a little bit tougher, right? You start to feel weaker. You get a little bit more upset, a little more irritant, but we have nowhere to let that go. So one of the strongest things you do is you do a journal. Talk about the hardest things you're facing right now. Write about it. Now, for some of you, might brush it off like, I don't need that. But don't knock it till you try it. Give it a shot. See what that does for you mentally and watch what it does for you physically. It's an incredible thing. It's something I personally did not believe in until I was pushed onto that. Once I tried that, it changed everything for me. It's a habit I do every single day now. So that's journaling. That's the last thing. And one of the key things I highly recommend as well is sleep in a cold room. Now, I know some of you love the heat, you love staying warm. Totally understand that. But the thing that's actually stopping you from falling asleep is a warm room, right? So, again, like Dean mentioned earlier, take a bath, take a hot shower, get some heat rolling first, but sleep in a cold room and have the covers on top. You will fall asleep much quicker, get to REM cycle much faster, and stay in that system for much longer, right? So those are the key things that we want to make sure we get done. And those are the things that I found worked best for myself when I was working in high stress environments, or I had clients of mine who were working in high stress environments running certain things as well. Is this helpful for you guys, by the way? Is this making sense? You can just drop a yes in the chat. Perfect. Okay, and one other thing as well, that Dean and I were chatting about too is we last week we launched one of our biggest offers. We were offering help for those who needed, assistance with their sciatica, who were struggling, who were just feeling like things just weren't going their way, right? You feel like you're asking for all this help, no one's really helping you. Again, which is why we put this together for you today. We wanted to make sure you guys understand that you're here, you're not alone, right? People are here for you to help you with sciatica pain. So I was chatting with Dean and we decided to sort of extend this offer. Now, by the way, this is exclusive. If some of you are already in the courses, some of you are already getting Dean's help. If you've spoken with Dean before, let's make sure we make room for new people who haven't and who want that help. So what we're going to be doing now is we're actually going to go ahead and offer you guys a free call, right? We just want to chat with you guys, get to understand how we can help you and get you through this pain. So what we do in these calls are super simple. We sit down with you, right? We're going to figure out what the key problem is with your sciatica and find an effective custom plan to help you get to where you need to be with your pain, right? Because let's face it, it's probably been a while you've been in this pain. It's probably been quite some time you've been stuck in this loop, trying different exercises, trying different things. So why not try something new?